Tonight I kind of want to continue a conversation I was having on a live chat with Chaos 311 Clarity and some of the other gentlemen that were in the chat the other night. The topic is about sheepdogs, or the sheepdog mentality. Now, I don't like it. I don't like the term. I don't like the idea. I don't like the thinking behind it. It's almost to me some sort of elitism. It almost is some sort of self-importance. It's like I strap a gun on, so therefore now I am the shepherd of my neighborhood. No, that's just not it. That's not the way it works. You put a gun on, that means great. You're able to protect yourself. That doesn't increase your obligation or your authority to protect anyone else. Now I have a right to protect myself and a right to protect my family. I don't have an obligation to protect anybody else. If I take it upon myself to protect somebody else, that's great. I always encourage people, do the right thing. Try to help your fellow man. But there are extremes, and there are gray areas. There are circumstances to everything. And being a sheepdog is such a black and white thing. It's like you take it like somehow strapping on a gun somehow gives you some sort of authority to protect others. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I don't agree with it. It's not my way of thinking. There are different situations. Say you're in a movie theater, someone breaks in and starts shooting. Well, of course you're going to engage the shooter. You're actively in that situation. That guy's a threat to you and everyone in the theater. You want to save them, and you want to save yourself and your own family. You're not going to turn your back and run to someone who's actively firing. So, of course, you're going to engage. You see someone attacking a woman in a parking lot, and you know, I can probably stop this. I can actually act without undue risk to myself or others. You take upon some risk to yourself, but of course, you're going to intervene. You're going to try to help. But one of the scenarios people like to use is, say, you're at the mall, you start hearing rifle fire at the other end of the mall. What do? You're armed. Now, my answer to that is always, I get my family, I get the hell out of there. That's the way I feel about it. My obligation, first and foremost, is to my family and to myself. I get my family, I get them to safety. I don't go deal with what's going on down in the other end of the mall. That's not my world at this moment. At this moment, my world is protecting my family, protecting my children most of all. So I get them to a safe area. Now, once I get to them that safe area, I don't abandon them. Now, of course, I'm going to be calling 911 this whole time too, but I don't abandon my family. I don't just take them to where I think a safe place is and leave them, even if it's like a service hallway or outside the mall, because how am I to know that this guy isn't wave 1 and wave 2 is coming up right behind them in a minute? I'm staying with them to protect them, because that, like I said, is my primary goal. That is my primary responsibility. Beyond that, I am not going to do something that risks my life. Not because I'm afraid of losing my life, but because I have a family to think of. I lost the parents that raised me when I was very young. When I was 11 years old, I lost my parents. And I know what that feels like. And there's no way in the world anyone could say anything that would shame me into a position where I would feel like I have in any way any desire to think of my son, my 9-year-old son, in his bedroom, tearfully, trying to cope with the fact that he's never going to see his father again. I'm not going to put him in that position for any reason or for anybody else. So if you think my goal is to protect you because I have a firearm, you're wrong. That's not my goal. My goal is to protect me, my family, and protect my family from harm and from suffering. And nothing you can say is going to shame me into thinking otherwise. So this is one of the biggest arguments you can use to promote gun ownership, in my opinion. When I strap on my firearm, I'm not there to protect you and yours. I'm there to protect me and mine. You and yours, I feel sorry for. But my obligation, like I said, is to me and my family. If you want to take that same obligation, if you feel that your family is worth protecting, then do the same. Take it upon yourself to protect yourself and them. Because it's not my job. And not only is it not my job, it's not something that I'm willing to do to put my own self at risk and cause my family to have to live without me, or even worse, to put my family themselves at risk. So in the end, take upon yourself to exercise your own right to defend yourself. Tell a person, you have to depend upon yourself. Do you want to be in a position where you have to depend on others, or do you want to be able to protect yourself? So in the end, protecting myself is my right. Protecting you is not my responsibility.